There's definitely some friction in those wellness pillars. Hello, my name is Allie Pash. Welcome to or back to my YouTube channel, All Glory to Jesus Christ. Today I wanted to talk about how I balance the areas of wellness in my life, and I actually group these into 3 main areas, which are spiritual wellness, physical wellness, and financial wellness. I feel like most of the things I prioritize on the day-to-day tend to fall in one of those 3 categories, and I want to talk to you about how I'm able to accomplish my goals in each one of those areas today. When I think of wellness, I think of a more holistic approach of all the areas in my life overlap. There's no one area that is siloed from the rest, and a decision I make in one area will affect the rest of my life. I want to focus first on physical wellness. This is something that I've been very much prioritizing the last, I would say, extra prioritizing the last 6 months, but I've always been cognizant of my physical health. It's just that I started actually putting my thoughts and words into action. Over the last 6 months, I have lost about 33 pounds, and I have the goal to lose 25 more. And in order for me to do that, I had to set up some key areas to track and to make sure that I was hitting every day. I obviously have to eat in a calorie deficit in order to do that. So one area of my wellness routine is creating a meal plan and making sure that that meal plan meets my calorie goals. There's a variety of ways to do this. I use the MyFitnessPal app. I know a lot of people have some critiques for that app, but simply it is the easiest free tool that I know how to use and does really help me. I kind of ignore the weird suggestions it gives you, like it demonized saturated fat. Like, I'm not going to not eat full fat dairy or not use butter. So that's something that I just kind of ignore on the app. So tracking my calories is key in my physical wellness. I also track my steps. I have a goal of hitting 10,000 steps every single day, and I don't hit it every day. Let's be very honest, but I've actually hit it the last 5 days, which is really good. And I've just been looking for ways to prioritize walking throughout my day. I work at a desk job, so walking isn't necessarily the first thing that comes to mind when I think of what I do, but I do try to use my standing desk as much as possible. I get to work early so I can maybe walk a mile before my job starts. I'll cut my lunch in half, so instead of scrolling on my phone or visiting with people at work, I will go for a walk for half of my lunch, and then at that point I'm pretty close to my step goal, so I will end up hitting it by the end of the day, depending on whatever workout I have in the afternoon after work. And speaking of working out, the last area I have a goal in and that I track is my workouts. These have been changing over time. I tend to change them up every 2 to 3 months. I get kind of bored with the routine, but also my life changes and the things that I'm able to do after work kind of change. So because we're entering into the summer months, I want to prioritize spending time outside. I live in a very cold state most of the time. So when it gets warm, I want to be outside. So in the summer, I like to prioritize things like going for extra walks after work, picking up running again, maybe doing a workout outside. So I don't actually have a gym membership for the summer. I choose to not renew it for the summer months and work out at home. But that's just kind of how I work in my physical wellness into my daily routine. Now moving on to financial wellness. I will say that financial wellness and physical wellness, although they seem very separate, seem to butt heads often for me because there's a lot of things I want to buy when it comes to physical wellness things. Like, there's supplements that I think I would want to try, or maybe I want to buy collagen powder, or I want to buy this cute workout set. And it's generally like I want to consume things in my physical wellness journey, and my financial goals don't necessarily align with me buying stuff for that. So there's definitely some friction in those wellness pillars. But ultimately, my financial goals trump me wanting to buy things for my wellness goals most of the time. Although I do prioritize buying high quality food and trying to get as much nutrient dense whole food options as possible, which can be a bit more spendy. I have budgets set aside for that, but my main financial goal is actually to pay off debt. I really don't have that much debt, and I wouldn't consider it bad debt, and that's controversial enough to consider good debt and bad debt. But I have a little bit of student loans, I have a car, and then I also have a little bit of debt from the LASIK eye surgery that I got. And all these things were things that I very, very critically looked at before going into debt for. I was comfortable with the payments that I would be making, and I knew I'd be able to pay them off within. My goal is actually to pay this stuff off in the next 3 years. That's kind of a stretch goal, and it requires me to make a lot of other sacrifices in my day-to-day life. I live kind of far from town because it's cheaper, and I choose not to buy things like new clothes or the newest wellness thing because I have these financial goals. I actually track this using the Every Dollar app. I'm pretty sure it's created by Dave Ramsey. I use this just because this is the best free app that I've found that has the categories that I want to be grouping in. I am very analytically minded. I do finance as my job, so I definitely like crunching the numbers. So monthly budgeting is really something that gives me a sense of freedom. When I go into the month, I know where my money is supposed to go, and I understand when and where I can make more impulsive decisions and when and where I need to tell myself no. The last area of wellness, which I honestly believe is the most important area of wellness and encapsulates the other two areas of wellness, is spiritual wellness. I am a Catholic convert. I converted from Protestantism. I would say I was a Protestant for most of my life, and at the end of college I chose to become Catholic, and I have so many videos on this. So if you're interested more in my testimony, I think there are a couple of videos like this out there. For sure my Easter video that I just posted on my first year being a Catholic. So if you want to check that out, go right ahead. That's not necessarily what I'll be going over here, but what I will be talking about is the things that I do on a daily and weekly basis that help me promote my spiritual wellness. I start my day off by reading my Bible. And actually, before I end up reading my Bible, I have these little prayer cards that I keep in my bathroom mirror. So when I go up to brush my teeth, I actually will pray those prayer cards. And that's something new that I've been doing. They were a gift from one of my friends recently. So I just have really liked incorporating that into my routine. And then once I've woken up a little bit, then I will read my Bible. And then on my way into work, I'll pray a rosary. And on my lunch walk, I will normally listen to Father Mike's Bible in a Year. These are areas that I try to do daily. I keep track of daily on my habit tracker. And something weekly that I like to do as well is attend at least one daily mass throughout the week. Recently, I've actually been attending 2 daily masses in addition to Sunday Mass, and I've also been attending a holy hour once a week. Unfortunately, my Bible study has ended for the summer, so hopefully I can find a Bible study over the summer. Otherwise, I'll continue to do independent study until we rejoin in the fall. But all in all, by focusing my efforts on these 3 pillars with a few trackable, measurable things within each pillar has helped me feel very grounded in what I know my daily tasks are, as well as driving my goals forward. Having these tangible things that I am able to check off every single day is something that has really helped me accomplish a lot of goals that I felt like I wasn't getting to, or you know, those New Year's resolutions that you would set and forget about after a month, and then you'd reapproach it at the end of the year and wish you would have done something about it. this is really the first year when I set myself up for success by making these pillars a priority in my life and giving myself real actionable things to do to accomplish these pillars. I hope this video was helpful to you to just kind of look into these 3 pillars yourself, maybe come up with a few things under each pillar that you could do daily, weekly, and monthly in order to set yourself up for success for the future. If you like this video, I would love if you liked it, maybe considered subscribing, and if you could comment down below kind of the area of wellness that you want to focus on right now. Maybe there's a goal that you have in mind. Maybe there was a goal that I talked about that inspired you to set for yourself. Just, yeah, I would love to hear what it is you guys are prioritizing in your life right now. But I will see you in the next video, and I will talk to you later. Bye.